our risk-based testing and quarantine protocols differ among the following three categories of passengers. 1, Jamaican nationals and non-nationals ordinarily resident in Jamaica by virtue of work permit, marriage, or being a dependent of a national. 2, non-nationals visiting Jamaica for the purpose of tourism. And 3, non-nationals visiting Jamaica for business purposes. Now let me start with the first category, Jamaican nationals and non-nationals ordinarily resident in Jamaica. Now these persons will be subject to testing if assessed as high risk as a result of their travel history, exhibiting symptoms, exposure to persons who have tested positive, or belonging to a high-risk group. High-risk groups include cruise ship workers, involuntarily returned migrants, and healthcare workers. Persons assessed as high risk will have their samples taken and await their test results under quarantine at home or in a government facility as determined by the health authorities. These persons will therefore be under quarantine until their test results are available, and we are aiming for a maximum of 72 hours to turn around test results. If the test result is negative, they will be under either a stay-at-home for returning residents measure or be placed in quarantine at home for 14 days, depending on the assessed risk. If the test is positive, however, persons will be isolated either at home or in a government facility as determined by the health authorities. Persons not assessed as high risk will be allowed to go home under the stay-at-home for returning residents measure for 14 days since being landed in Jamaica. Now, the stay-at-home for returning residents measure that we are introducing under the new order is more restrictive than the stay-at-home measure for persons aged 65 and over, which would have previously obtained. Now, under the new stay-at-home order for returning persons, such persons are required to stay at home. However, they are allowed to leave their home only once per day to obtain food, medical supplies, conduct financial transactions, and physical exercise. It is important to note that persons under this measure would also be required to work from home. And at this point, I have to emphasize, because there are persons who are coming back on work permits and who would want to immediately return to the workplace. It should be noted that under the new stay-at-home measures for returning persons, they must stay at home, follow the guidelines about once leaving, but they must also work from home.